Okay, sorry about that. Having live problems, but I think now I fixed them. Okay, we should be ready now. Sorry about that. Let me link the working one. I really need to get this, dumb... Eventually I'm gonna fix it. I need to, get a new encoder. I need to work these things out. Since, it's just become impossible recently to start streaming now, so... Okay, let me just, paste this. But yeah, okay. Looks like we're actually live now. Yep, Apple. Yep, it's a MacBook. Just messing around with it, getting it ready. And for those who don't know, I literally got this thing yesterday. It's set up for the most part, but there's still a little bit of work that needs to be done. Though, I think it's okay. Next time, though, I'm going to try to get this encoder a bit better set up. Let me just make sure it's still live. But yeah. Finally. Really annoying that YouTube wants to be that big of a pain in the butt that they want to, cut live streaming. Because honestly, YouTube has made it near impossible to stream now. If you're not over 1,000. And, well, the chance of me hitting 1,000 at this time, it's a less chance than me running that thing without a plug plugged in. And that's a 0% chance, because this thing doesn't take batteries. It's very, non-battery powered. Hey, where did you come from? You're supposed to go in the media box. I know, my office is a mess. But it's a mess because this guy, this ancient dinosaur over here, just got replaced. And now I just have a bunch of spare things that I don't need now. Okay, let me make sure I have my adapter thing. That's somewhere. Oh, there it is. Now you're probably wondering right now, how on earth do you stick a thing in the computer? You can't stick an SD card in there. Well, we can try it. No guarantees, though. We're going to attempt to stick an SD card in USB-C. It seems that there's a slight problem while trying that. Now, of course, there is the redneck solution to the problem, but are we going to do that? No! Because is this a DIY channel? Ew, gross, no. Hey, TK fan. I bought this. This is called Hyperdrive. And watch this. This is a piece of technology. And you stick it in this way overpriced piece of technology. See, you have to unplug this stupid charging cable, which I really don't like. Plug this giant thing in. I'm not sure what on earth this would be classified as. It clicks in. There we go. Now we're in business. But yeah, I got my new MacBook, for the most part, set up. Where's the iPad? I need my iPad. The coolest thing about this MacBook is that, I don't need a second monitor, because this is my second monitor now. Well, of course it's proprietary. What do you expect from, Apple's proprietary in a whole, but, the thing is, once you get an all-Apple system going, you really cannot get out of it. And also my mom says I have a Windows killing aura because I've killed every Windows PC I've ever touched. No kidding. The first day of school in 9th grade, that was a new school, I killed the Windows PC I was supposed to use in technology class. The teacher was really unhappy. She ran to the back and got me an old Mac computer they were using to run the servers. And I had to use the Mac for the rest of the year because I kept killing the Windows PCs. It was hilarious. I think it was a Dell, though. Yeah, this doesn't actually click. It just makes a tactic vibration instead. But see, it won't click if I press it with my fingernail, like the original Mac one would. Yay, we can go get some locks. That's not a problem. Let me just grab iPad to read chat. Rip off smart keyboard. Yeah, we're gonna. I know a good lock to get. We're gonna get a best lock. There's some interesting ones. Where's the gamer keys? I got so many. There's some interesting ones. All of which I found on eBay. Because eBay is a magical place, guys. There's some locks. I'm an Apple person. I'm literally all Apple. iPhone, iPad, MacBook. I'm all Apple. And considering that I've already gone all Apple, there's no getting out of it. Grandma Otis is right there. She's pretty okay, actually. Though I'm set to get another panel eventually, though COVID-19 has completely ruined that. And it's going to be like that for a while. I can't get my new panel until Galleria is safe enough to get stuff from. And I'm pretty sure it won't be till June, so yeah. But we have Grandma Otis for now. Keys are in the other room. So, yeah. This is the weirdest padlock I own. My tutor got me this like 5 years ago, I think. It's one of these. It has one of these types of keys. I think it might be made out of cadmium, so I don't usually use this one for anything since, you know, cadmium's pretty poisonous. Don't eat cadmium, kids. It's a bad idea. I mean, you probably could. It's edible, right? But because it's edible doesn't mean you should eat it. But, I mean, it's doable, I guess. And there's just some best locks. This is a newer one. This is a custom logo one, but these things were all over eBay like 5 years ago. I think they still are. This one was really cheap, too. It's in perfect condition, though. Not the original key, though. These were newer keys. The one thing I like about best locks is they're relatively unpickable. Hey, Excel. Welcome. But yeah, as you can see, lock works just fine. You can also pull the core if you need to. Let me just get the key out. See, these locks are really hard to put keys in. That's the one thing I don't like. That or these keys are just really badly cut. Likely what happened. Because these are reproduction keys. They're not the original keys. Dollar store locks? Why on earth would you use a dollar store to buy a lock? That's a terrible idea. Yeah, I think these are similar to Abloy keys. But GTS, why do you keep buying phones? Well, Quario's been blocked because I can't tolerate that. Well, you shouldn't be licking things in the first place. That's called vandalism. And vandalism is bad. You guys shouldn't be licking the elevator. That is gross. If the building owner catches you, they can call the police for vandalizing your property. But yeah, you can get in serious legal trouble if they catch you doing that, so no. And honestly, I just blocked him because I am not going to tolerate that. And he has said some pretty mean things around here too, and I am just not going to tolerate. That's not tolerable. I'm not going to tolerate it. But yeah. Oh my god, 15 people? That's a new one. But yeah, I guess we can also show off the MacBook. It's your standard MacBook. You guys don't get to see my emails. For obvious reasons. No emails for you. It would be really creepy if you could see my emails, actually. Where on earth did iPad go for reading chat? Since unfortunately YouTube has just like, it has made doing things a chore, honestly. And it sucks. It really does suck that YouTube has gone this far to prevent you from even doing anything. And it sucks because you know what? There are times when I want to go out and do something fun, go on a vacation, and now it's like impossible to stream. Like, I'm probably gonna have to bring my other iPhone with me, or some other device to read the chat, and double handle it somehow, because YouTube has just, like, finally I don't know. It's YouTube. They're the problem here. Like, I get why you cannot stream. They don't want you streaming under 1,000 because one time someone streamed something very bad for YouTube, hurting people. And I understand that, it's harder to get 1,000 than stream that, so that would deter that. But I think YouTube should really not be 1,000. It's hard enough to get 100. You're not going to get 100 overnight unless you buy bots. If you buy bots, you can get 100 overnight, but trust me, guys, buying sub bots is not cool. Don't buy the sub bots. That's how you get yourself terminated. But oh dear, Wi-Fi crashed again on the MacBook. This thing loves crashing on the Wi-Fi in here. But meh. This thing is much more reliable at times. Oh, don't you worry about vacationing. My mom said she's taking me regardless. She is done doing this virus thing. And so am I, honestly. Though keep in mind what the news is saying about the coronavirus is very different from what's actually going on. The news, all they want you to do right now is buy their subscription so they don't go out of business. That's all they care about. In the end, all they care about is your money. It's true. I mean, it may not sound true, but it is. In the end, the only thing they care about is your money. And the reason they're trying to scare you into buying these things, if you want to get money, you scare people into buying a membership. And then in that membership, you can sell. It's like selecting the dumbest people who will buy the membership, and you take those people and you execute that, and you keep exploiting it too. And you just get to the point where you can be like, oh, but if you buy this for another $300, you can get double the notifications on your phone. And we will notify you for all the stories, and we will give you live updates. You can't get that without using your mouse on your computer, but it's on your phone. So it's worth another $300. Go right ahead, people, buy it up. And that's true. That's literally what they're doing, because a lot of people don't know this, but I have access to the news that the doctors get, because someone in my family is a doctor. The news on there that is written by the doctors is very different from what you get on main news networks. And, some of it's, like, completely without context. Like, duh, it's reopening while the cases are going up. The cases can't go down. The number of already happened cases isn't going to go down. People aren't just going to be like, oh, I'm not sick anymore. Take that number off the graph, people. That's not how that works. That's the thing. That's not how that works. But they're still like, whoops, let's try to get control of people, get more money, get more money. Oh, new studio? Ugh, don't even get me started on that. Though actually, I know a way to get to the old studio, but don't tell anyone I told you. I'm going to show you how to get to the old studio. So what you do is you go to your channel. If you want to get it, you go to youtube.com/subscribers. And this actually takes you into the old version of Studio because the subscribers tab needs to be active still. The Wi-Fi is just slow in this room. My Wi-Fi is super crap. I hate my internet service provider a lot. But unfortunately, we're locked in a contract with them because my parents' work pays for it. But well, old Studio is going to be way better regardless. There we go. But yeah, go to the subscribers page. Notice this, we're on the old Studio. Watch this. Of course, I lose Wi-Fi. It's not the MacBook's fault. It's my crappy internet. But look at that, guys. We're in the old Studio. Just like that. Look at this. Go to youtube.com/subscribers, then press dashboard. That's how you get in the old Studio. It's really not that hard. So, you guys no need to complain about the new Studio. It sucks. Everyone knows that. But the old Studio still does exist. It's not turned off. Is this off? Can someone please tell me if this is off? Because if this means off to you, well, that's the definition of on. Ugh, I really need to call my service provider about this crappy internet. Though it's just the computer. I think I just have too many devices on the internet. Ooh, 8 subscribers this month. See? I still use it. Nothing wrong. My internet is from Frontier Connections. They suck. Their customer service is horrible. Yeah, I absolutely hate Frontier. Why can't you use multiplayer in a kid's video? I know, it's stupid. What do they think kids are gonna watch something inappropriate? If it's a kid's video, you can't even watch it in multiplayer. How? That's not how that even works, YouTube. That's just, yeah. Well, see, the YouTube dashboard's actually really easy to access, and it's still active, too. Like, I can go to the community tab, for example, and it'll still go there. It's still active. People don't know how to get to it, but I found out that exploit about a week ago. It's not hard. There it goes again. I need a new router, probably, though. Too lazy to buy a new router. Yeah, Frontier's horrible. You know what? We can just reboot the Mac. We can listen to the awesome startup sound this thing has. Just listen to this once I reboot it. It has the best startup sound I've ever heard. Close out Chrome. Like, I get it's an Apple. I know people here, some people aren't fans of Apple. That's fine, whatever. But this thing has the coolest startup sound I've ever heard on a computer. Wow, it's already off. Well, listen to this. That's a cool sound. I actually had to re-enable it, but it's not that hard. Not gonna give my name, but look at that. Oh yeah, you guys can see what wallpaper I chose. This is just like me in a nutshell right here. There we go. I used to have Verizon internet too, but we had decent. See, my mom's work pays for all our internet and phone and stuff because my mom's really high up in that company. So we get a lot of that's like one of the perks, that's the benefits of working at that place. So, and since my mom gets a lot of texts, she just put me on her unlimited plan, though. My dad and grandma aren't on the unlimited because they don't text that much. Though my mom says I have a texting problem. Oh yeah, you guys can see my wallpaper. This is, for those who don't know, this is me in a nutshell, basically. Okay, you guys do not need to see my text with OPG. Look at this. This is my wallpaper. I actually took that photo. I was staying there. This is a 13-inch MacBook Pro. I didn't buy the 16-inch because at Costco this one was $500 off, so I don't mind $500 off. Ah, Caesar salad. Okay, let me get the iPad on its stand because, I bought one. Of course, the Apple branded one, since I don't like using third-party products on Apple because I like it when I can get my warranty and Apple can't just say something like, "Well, you use this third-party product which we don't support, so it's your fault you broke it." I've never gotten that from Apple, keep in mind, but I always just buy the authentic because if it fails, then I know Apple isn't gonna be able to use the "you didn't use our products" jargon that they give. And that's Apple's problem. Though recently I've had very good experiences with Apple, so. And the thing is with Apple, once you set up your Apple ecosystem, there's no getting out of it. Trust me. There's no way out of it. And it just connects so well, there's no point. Also, I break every Windows PC I've touched, so. That's an Apple problem, though. Well, Apple depends on what you're seeing. I mean, yes, their hardware looks very similar. Like, yes, this thing looks just like the MacBook from last year and last year and the last year. But the way it functions is prime. It works perfectly. It does what I need it to do. It's not a piece of junk. Like, I've had bad experiences with Windows. HP is one of my least favorite computer companies. I've heard many bad things about HP. But you know what? I've gotten this at school so many times. My Dell Inspiron Alienware HP B48 Pro notebook desktop has this graphics card in it, which is 10 times better than the one in your stupid little Mac. I've gotten that type of junk, I don't even know how many times. Because, you know, when I go to school, I do editing. My school has hired me to edit their videos, so I bring my MacBook every day. I brought my old one. But one person was just like shocked that I was even an Apple user. They were not expecting me to bring in a MacBook. Yay, Chrome saved my pages. That's good. Okay. But I used to have an HP, but I killed it twice. My mom won't let me get it back because I've killed it too many times. The first time I deleted System32 thinking it was a virus. The second time what happened was the hard drive died. So I bought this because it has an SSD in it. Though, to its credit, this dinosaur over here, this guy had a disk drive and it replaced with an SSD too. It just started stalling, so I replaced it. Here we go. I think the Wi-Fi was fixed after a reboot. Let me just check for reviews. Also, guys, this is a thing I want to tell you about. I had some really inappropriate bots a few days ago linking to, let's just say some websites for adults. Adult video websites. Of course, I deleted them instantly, but you guys need to check for these bots. They both link to very inappropriate websites. I'm not going to say them. That is for you guys to interpret. Look at that. Let's see, we're in Classic Studio. I will say the comments page on the newer studio is better, but who cares? This is better. But yeah. Well, my HP had a hard disk drive in it, and it died twice. But that one was for my own personal problems. This thing's got a... We can look at the specs, so I'm going to cover the serial number since you guys do not need to find my Mac. That would be very creepy. There, that's the specs of my computer. For those interested, there you go. It's 256, but you know, that's not really a problem. I have plenty of... I went to Costco a few months ago, and let me see if I can find my card. One of them, at least. I bought a ton of micro SD with adapters for 128 gigabytes, so I can just stick them in there, and who cares? Oh, these. I bought a ton of these at Costco. They were really cheap in a big bundle, so I bought like 4 of these, and I have 3 more to use. But yeah. It's just a 128 micro SD card with an adapter on it. And that actually worked out perfectly because I bought this camera. Now, this camera's really nice. I really do like this camera. Okay, Metro, I will check Discord. But look at this. It's a Sony TX66. Nice little camera. Gets the job done. But look what it takes. Sam's Club is boring. I don't really like it. They do have elevators, though. But notice it takes a micro SD card or a mini. No, micro SD. I'm happy I bought that. Because if I didn't, then I wouldn't get to use my new camera. Yep, this is a Sony DSC-T66. Great little camera. If you can find them on eBay for a good price, I definitely recommend. Because I found that thing on eBay for like $110. And those things, usually you'll find them for 200 something, so I thought that was a really good deal, and I just picked it up. Because it was new in box. The only thing that happened was that, the only thing that happened that was wrong with it was that it had like 2 scratches on the screen, and well, who cares about 2 scratches? It didn't hurt the, problems, right? Excel, if you'd like to contact me, I mean, you can settle it right now if you want. I mean, anytime works. I am not under any pressure. I'm technically out of school right now. I finished all my work for the year, so I'm just like doing whatever. Yeah, TX66. These cameras, they're actually not that common from what I've heard. These little guys, you know, it's not like the TX10, which is a famous camera. These guys were only made for, yeah, it's a sleeker TX20. That's basically what it is. Though it's also a mini media player because I can stick one of these guys in there and plug it in with HDMI. It's like a little media player for my TV. because I have a flat screen out there. But that's why I like it, because, it's versatile. I like having, this. Also, the good thing about this little I bought this hub for Best Buy. It was like 30% off, so it was really cheap. It has a micro SD slot and a regular, so I can put 2 SD cards in there at once, which is really good. And I guess we can preview some content. Now, the only thing I don't like about this hub, you have to stick the cards in upside down in this hub, which is really weird. I don't have finals since, well, see, what happened to my school was I go to a school where there are lots of kids who are mentally challenged, usually have autism or whatnot. And, of course, since, the kids here are autistic, have mental challenges, they think that the work that they give me is going to take a full class period, and it does for most students. But I, with like 3 or 4 students, don't have the problems that some other students have, so I can get through the stuff at least half a period, right? And what that means is, since I'm finishing it, what's going on is I've already finished all my work for the year. I finished it in half a semester. So now that I finished all my work, I basically have free time, so I can probably live stream a bit more now. Considering that I've gotten everything settled out, I got a new computer now, because for those who don't know, the only thing that was wrong with this one was that I was slow and kept stalling. It got a stalling problem a few weeks ago, so I asked for this as a graduation gift, so yeah. And for those who don't know, I'm graduating Friday. Quario, please don't spam. I'm sorry, but I'm going to need to remove you if you're going to cause trouble. I'm sorry, but if you're going to cause trouble here, I am going to need to remove you. Guys, if you cause trouble here, we will not hesitate to remove you. He has been blocked. We don't have to worry about him. Anyways, back to the stream. So, 4K is kind of overkill. Yeah, I'm graduating Friday. I'm really excited. I actually made a whole video about comparing hotels, like, the Anatole. I'm really excited that I get to graduate, though, because my school lets out early. And then all summer, well, I can't really go to the mall since I'm not going to risk getting sick myself. But I would love to go to the mall, though, but that's that's beyond my abilities at the moment. But maybe it won't be soon. Well, the TX100V was good, but the TX66 is a little bit better. It's got a better sensor in it. And there are actually a few of these guys on eBay right now if you want to check for them. You'll probably, if you do what I do with all this stuff is I set an eBay alert. Every time someone puts an item with the name, it notifies me. So what I did was, I just waited for this. And this thing just popped up from a seller in Canada, and it wasn't that expensive. And they were actually going to pay for shipping, even for import, which is really nice, by the way. It's really nice when they pay you to import something. But yeah, it was really not that expensive, and it was in great condition. The only thing that's wrong with it is that it had like 2 scratches on the screen, and well, for those who don't know, these things have plastic screens on them, but it doesn't hurt the functionality. The camera works perfectly. But yeah, it was a really good deal. I'm glad I picked it up. And then I got this guy. Now, I did not pay full price for this. I would not pay full price for a MacBook. I'm not that crazy. You can actually get these from Costco right now for $500 off. And I don't think $500 off is such a bad deal. Oh, yay, Lenny's here. Hey, Captain Obvious, can you be my eye doctor again? I haven't had someone state the obvious for me in a while, so I need someone to state the obvious for me. Can you please state the obvious for this? I'm sorry, man. I need something. I know it's a troll, but... Yeah, the TX100V was a year before the TX66. One day I need to go to Longview. I pass through Longview once a month when I go out of town to East Texas because I'm a very young homeowner. I have a house in East Texas. This Lenny kid looks like someone I know. It looks like someone named Lithium Inc. Looks a lot like or what is their username? Let me get it word for word for you. You know, it really reminds me of Lithium Inc. Really reminds me. Yeah, Mr. Lenny of South Florida, you remind me of Lithium Inc. Yeah, I think any cam that shoots 1080p is fine. You know, 1080p is still good resolution. I don't need something better. Because, you know, you could. Like, iPhones even have good cameras. You know, most cell phones, not even iPhones, any phone, really, that was made this year has a great camera. And that's the thing, like, you know, in 5 years, I bet I won't even need this thing. Because phones will just be able to record in 4K and take up no space. And you know what? No problem. Once that happens, it's perfect. Like, you know, I bet in a few years 4K monitors are going to be a thing. OLED monitors and laptops will be a thing. I'm sure soon LCD screens will be a thing of the past. And there may be a day when this camera retires, but even the TX10 is still a good camera. And I think any camera in the TX series is really good because I like how these things look like phones because most guards will think that this thing is a really crappy cell phone. Every guard I've ever encountered asked what kind of crappy phone are you using. Well, they don't say that. They're like, what kind of phone is that? I'm like, oh, that's a camera. And they're like, oh. But it really does look like a crappy cell phone. Like, you know, it looks like a phone that your parents would give you when they don't care. They're just like, okay, here, have your phone, whatever. But it's not meant to be a good phone. It's just like, you know, one of those burner phones your parents buy you. I haven't ridden a Fright in a while. I'm supposed to be getting a panel for Fright, but I have to wait until Galleria reopens. Okay, bye, GTS. Also, I'm really happy with this camera because it takes I have tons of N-type batteries. I have a whole thing full of them. And I'm glad I have a camera that can take them. Also, it came with this the TX66 came with this. I really like how it came with the carrying bag. Because now I don't have to worry about scuffing it up with my elevator keys. Also, don't use keys. That's my problem, not yours. Also, congratulate me, guys. I finally got a real editing program. Isn't that exciting? No more iMovie. You guys don't have to suffer with iMovie in my editing anymore. No more iMovie. We can now use DaVinci Resolve once I figure it out. I actually got a test edit in today. It came out pretty well. But, yeah, it wasn't bad, actually, for a first attempt. This computer doesn't like rendering 3D very much, but it's a base model, so what do I expect? The only thing fancy in it is that it has a bigger SSD in it, and it has a i7 in it. But I don't know if the i7 even helps that much. But, yeah. Yeah, iMovie does suck. Well, see, at the moment, I'm kind of out of funds since this was spent with my own personal money that I've been saving in case my other computer failed. But eventually, I'm going to actually get like a decent editing software. This Christmas, I'm aiming to get a better editing software. But I think DaVinci Resolve is going to work for now until I can get a better thing. Because, you know, all it needs to do is run on Mac, and I'm covered. Though I know people that also use a combination of editing softwares, and that's likely what I'm going to do. Because there's some things I like from iMovie, there's some things I like from Resolve. I like how you can use 3D text in Resolve. But, yeah. Yeah, vacuums do suck quite well, actually. Unless you buy them from Walmart, then they probably don't. But I don't buy my vacuums from Walmart. I buy them from Target. Because I don't shop at Walmart. Actually, my parents usually shop at Kroger or Tom Thumb. We don't like Walmart very much. Hey guys, you want to see some scams on eBay? Welcome back to Scams on eBay. Today, we're going to look at a $55 Series 1 Braille. Well, you know, if you guys contact Otis, you can get a ton of them for free. Look how many brails I have. Infinite brails. Look how many brails I can get off that. They're all worn out, but they're even more special because they're the rarer metal version of Series 1 brails. You don't see those every day. Those were only used on the fancier Series 1 panels and the early ones. And Grandma Otis is a 1981 panel, so she's old. Early Series 1. But yeah. But, yep, Series 1 came from the one and only Hilton Anatole. Actually, I even have a picture of the building it came from. My Series 1 panel came from there. That's where it came from, in that very tower. I love this hotel. I've stayed here. Best hotel I've ever stayed in. I so want to do it again. Once I get the rewards points to do so, I will. Because keep in mind, what we do, well, I have a family member who works for a company. Well, their company's also tied to Hilton and Marriott. They book them every hotel. What we do is we will link our stay that's being paid for by the company to our honors accounts. So then we get points for doing it and staying there. Now, the hotel's not supposed to do that, but every time the employee's always like, yeah, we can do that. Because, you know, hotel employees, they don't care that much. They make money if you... They actually get a better pay if you sell someone a room with the honors points. That's why they want you to join the honors. Because most hotels, if you can sell them an honors membership, they will actually pay you a cut for doing that. That's why so many hotels want you to join the rewards program. That's why they'll give you free internet for a night or whatever they offer. Because what they're doing is they get money when you stay and do the honors program. They also get an even bigger cut if they make enough people join per month, they'll get a bigger cut of money, and so on. That's why every hotel wants you to join their rewards program. Also, they'll give you, like, those perks, like, you know, the water bottle. You can get free water bottles in your room. They're old and probably gross, but, you know, free water. Or they'll give you, like, a custom key card or something. Actually, that reminds me. I'm going to go get out my key card collection. We can go look at key cards. I'll be right back. I'll get my key cards. Okay, I'm back with some key cards. I have a whole bunch. Whole stack of them. But yeah. These are my key cards. All of my key cards. Here's a famous one. This is the Eat Well Motel. This one came from the Embassy Suites in Austin. A Sonesta Travel Pass. This hotel was okay. I don't think I'd book it again, though. It was a school-booked hotel. I just stole the key card. Sheraton. This one's very boring. This came from the Hyatt Regency in San Antonio, back before they had RFID. These cards sucked. The system they had didn't work so well. I might actually buy a few key card readers and an encoder and reuse these. This is from Moody Gardens. They've used these keys for years. I bet they still have these key cards. I'm going to go there this summer and check it. Hilton key card. This is an old one. I love this key card. This is my favorite key. This came from the Marriott River Center. Notice how they have instructions on how to use them. Yeah, this is an old Marriott key. These are just some more Sheraton cards. They're not that special. Though, I just like them because I like keeping these things. I like these key card holders. This is a cool key card holder. Look at this. Oh, the key fell out. But look at this. It's got a map. And Old Weston card. I miss these cards. I love this card. I like how it's green. Which hotel is this from? Oh, this is a very special one. This came from the Hilton Anatole. Here, Grandma Otis. Those are Grandma Otis's key cards. This is a Hilton Anatole rewards card. these are just cards. Another Embassy Suites San Antonio and Eat Well Motel card. I just kept them because, yeah. This is a very early RFID card. This card apparently is from the 90s. It was from a very early RFID system. So, must have been a very pricey hotel. Let's see. Those are already shown. Oh yeah, and one more. This is actually an interesting one. This is the Rediscover Sheraton card. I don't know if my mom actually rediscovered it because my mom got me this card. But yeah, those are all my key cards. I have too many key cards. Though I love stealing keys. I just keep them. I don't know why. I just love key cards. Oh, I got plenty of those Hilton Rewards keys. I stay at so many hotels that use them. Though you know what my favorite key card design of all has to be? The one key card design that is my favorite. I love this key. Ugh. Look at this, guys. I like these. Welcome. Also, I love Mag Stripe cards. I just think they're cooler. Though, let me just show you what kind of key card readers I'm planning on buying. There's one particular system I'm after since I heard that they are not as hard to set up. Okay, let me just... Oh yeah, TK definitely has more cards. I know that. But see, I'm planning on buying one of these. Time Locks 2300s. I love these readers. I've seen them. I love the way they beep. I just love these readers. Everything about them. They're just my favorite. So for Christmas, I'm probably going to ask for one of these and one of the encoders. Because I found the software on the internet, too. See, one of these. That's all I need. Because I want to start up my own mini key card thing. Because if I could replace that door with a key card, that would be great. But yeah. That's what I am planning on doing. And the AC just started. Wonderful. It's actually a good air conditioner, though. It sounds terrible. Oh, the dart cards. You know, this may sound crazy. I have never actually bought my own dart card. I've been on the dart. Though one time I got horrified by this really bad experience where some lady just lost her mind. After that, I never rode the dart again. But, well, if you can get an Oddity smart card, I bet those are rare, though. Those chip cards. I want to find one. But I'm looking for a hotel that has a time lock system in it still, since I heard those are very rare now, which is why they're so cheap. But I think casinos still use them, for the most part. But if I can get it into this thing, that'd be great. Because, you know, I can install Windows emulators on this thing all I want. I know a handful of emulators that I could download right now. So, also, I think all Macs have the ability to... Any Mac has the ability to run Windows. There's a thing called Boot Camp that they all come with. You can run Windows on them. Which makes it really easy. But, yeah. But, you know... Well, the thing about the transit was that lady, she went... I don't know what was wrong with her. She took her shirt off in front of everyone on the train. All I'm going to say is I think people were very creeped out. And I don't think anyone liked it. But after that, I was like, I am not doing that again. Though recently I did go to City Place Station, because they have those incline elevators, so those were cool. They smell terrible, but they worked okay. But honestly, those City Place elevators, the only thing they really need is a cleaning. They were gross. Here, why don't we look at some... I guess, you know what? Why don't we show an upcoming video? How about that? What do I want to show? But, let's see. Yeah, the shirtless lady was gross. I know the chat's like really lagged for some reason. That's just the way these things work. You know, the answer to the question, iPhones and Androids are equal. It just, you know what? Android and iPhone, the only thing that matters is what the person wants to buy, in my opinion. In my eyes, the only thing that matters is what the person wants, what they want. If they want to buy an iPhone, they can buy an iPhone. If they want an Android, they can buy an Android. Now, I buy an iPhone because I can link it to this and this. So it's easier to do that. If I didn't have these, maybe I wouldn't buy an iPhone. But I do. And once you're in an Apple ecosystem, there isn't really any way out. Oh, I'm using Live Now. That's the app I'm using. It's a complicated setup, but YouTube has killed off streaming. That's all I'm going to say. Hey, Jim. You know what? We can preview a car wash video that I filmed. This was at a crummy car wash in Plano. It was really crummy. And we're going to get a car wash. Let me see if I can find it. Looks like it pulled up one of my old videos. Whoops. Alright guys, we're at the Auto King. Yeah, Auto King Car Wash. That was the place. It was really crummy. Look how crummy this machine looks.
Thank you for giving me emoji, Mr. Car Wash.
This thing was crummy.
There we go, stop.
It left my card covered in spots, too.
With the Wash World High Velocity Car Wash.
The high velocity part might have been the best thing on that.
I already tried that one, didn't work so well. Now we are getting our...
Yeah, because I can since I can now drive places, I decided to go wash my car at this place. It was only $7, so I can't complain too much, but...
PDQ dryer, but they had a Laser Wash 4000 in here originally. They replaced it with this thing at some point.
This thing's been there for years. I've been through this place at least 3 times, so... It wasn't that crummy, though.
Let's see. No leak. This thing used to leak. I have been here twice.
But you can see just how crappy the system is.
Like banging into the back of the bay, don't you? Oh.
Look how crappy these dryers are.
Let's see if we can get any... Oh, these dryers seem to work pretty well.
Those dryers did not work very well. I don't think I've used crappier dryers. But yeah. Bye, PVD. But you know what? We can look at the other car wash I filmed. This was my local Shell station. It was a lot nicer. They have a Mark 7.
Guys, we're about to pull into the system.
I find this horn so funny. It's hilarious. I find this horn hilarious for some reason. I don't know why.
Of Mark 7. Okay,
I'm not sure why they call it Mark 7, not Mark 5832, but it's not my choice.
Get some water droplets.
It looks like one of those European washes. It looks like something you get in Poland.
First we start with some nice tap water. That's good. Sorry about the mess.
Yeah, some nice tap water with the lime scale in it. Gotta get your lime scale on the car.
Gonna start anything new?
These systems are everywhere. This is the most common thing in Texas. Mark 7 is popular.
Oh, it's doing its Mark 7 things.
It scrubbed the tires really well.
Yes, I know.
Okay, we can wash the soap curtain. It had the soap curtain on it. That was really cool. I was driving my mom's GMC. It doesn't have a sky roof. The car kind of sucks.
Yay, purple soap.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing about that system. It also has this weird dryer. Yeah, it's been a while, Jim. The problem is, YouTube has just killed off streaming on mobile. Since, I'm not at 1,000 right now. And the chances of me hitting 1,000 are very low. If I hit 1,000 in 2 years, I'd actually be shocked. Very shocked. I mean, of course it would be great, but, that's obvious. Like, I think everyone would enjoy hitting 1,000. Though I'm not far from 500. I mean, yes, it's only 450, but, I'm beyond halfway there. I wouldn't be surprised if I hit 600 by the end of the year. Yeah. Well, don't blame... You know why my mom has a GMC? Blame my dad for buying it. It was the cheapest thing at Huff Hines. That was in good condition. But, yeah. Though, this weekend I'm probably going to go film a few more car washes since my mom's car is dirty again. And I can fix that. But not going to the crummy car wash again. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not spending another $7 on a wash that isn't going to clean the car. That was a GMC Acadia. It's okay. I personally don't like driving American cars. I think the acceleration is a little bit too slow. Because at my driving school, they only had Japanese cars. And my dad has a Japanese car, and I drive in the Acura a lot more often. So I'm kind of used to having just quicker acceleration. I don't have a license yet. Once my driving school reopens and we get to the point where we can go take a driver's test, I'm going to go take my test and, yeah. Bye, Ultra Eric. But yeah, once I take my driver's test and can do it, we'll be all good. But yeah. Well, I mean, the thing on YouTube is, there are a lot of channels that have hit 1,000. I mean, there is no shortage of channels. Like, there's a handful of channels I know for a fact are using bots. Though you should never bot your subscribers, because if YouTube finds out you're using bots, they will literally just terminate you. They won't even do anything. They will terminate you. Because that's what YouTube does. Though I get that, sub bots suck. You should not buy sub bots, people. That's not cool. If you're botting subscribers, that's not right. But, but that's what YouTube does. And, in the future, there may be a better website out there. I may switch websites for all we know. In the future, I may switch to being only hotel tours. Who knows? Considering, though, I've upped my editing game so far, and, I've bought something that can render my edits much better, because, this guy didn't edit very well. We can actually open it and show. I think it's still on. Oh, yeah, it is. This one I made a custom wallpaper for, though. This guy does have some edited videos on it, which I need to port over tonight, but for the most part, I've transferred all my data off of it. Which is good. That's good. I gotta try again. Typing passcodes with one hand is never a good idea. There we go. See, I made a wallpaper for it. I just took a picture of Mom's garden and stuck it as a wallpaper. But see, this was my old computer. It's thick, it's slow, it's heavy. I'm not going to use it in the future. This was my editing software for the longest time. I don't use it, though, anymore. This thing couldn't even render iMovie. It keeps stalling on me. I wonder if we can get it to stall. You probably can, without doing anything. But notice just how much thicker this computer is. That's an upgrade right there. Though I miss having this and this. I don't like having to buy that. But don't worry, guys, I'm not going to buy dongles. I'm not that into Apple. I bought one of these for my mom, and I'm not a fan of this. Ugh, what even? Ugh. Get out of my sight, dongle. Yeah. But we can close the... Also, I like the Light Up Apple logo. I thought that was cool, but... We don't need that. Well, I think Acura is Honda. I've driven a few Hondas, though. My driving school has a Nissan, a Honda, and a Ford. I only drove the Ford like twice. Though the Ford was really slow. Though, if I get a car, I'm going to go for an electric. I want an electric car. I don't want to ruin the environment or meet sketchy people at the gas station again. Wait, again? That's never even happened. I thought it might have. I don't know. What else is there to do? How long has this even been running? Oh, an hour. That's pretty good. Yeah. I usually drive my dad's Acura. I drive to Collin Creek all the time. I can't wait till JCPenney reopens. Once they reopen JCPenney, I think we'll be okay. Well, my mom bought an Acura a few years ago, and it's 2014, so it's pretty old now. Well, I want electric because, I don't like fossil fuels, first of all. I prefer things to be electric. Also, I don't like burning gas, and the exhaust always makes me cough, so I don't want to consider that. I don't want to add to that being a problem. So see if there's anything else interesting here. Oh yeah, we can look at one other thing. We can look at the box for this. This is a generic Apple box. I was really excited when I saw that, though. But thanks Costco for selling these things for really cheap. I guess we can see my new camera in its box.
Hey guys.
This came from Canada. It's Canadian. I used my elevator keys to open it. See, it was new in box. The box had been like moved twice, but it came with everything. It had the HDMI cord in it too, and those little HDMI cords for those cameras. Good luck getting the proprietary charge port and the HDMI cord for these things now. It's hard. Bye. But yeah, trust me guys, you don't want to get those cords. Yeah, it's a Canadian Sony. Even the box has like French on it because, you know, in Canada they speak French and English. Well, usually it's not. It's not balanced. It's usually one area speaks one thing and another area speaks another, but yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get a Tesla, you know. Tesla's a little bit out of my budget, and, you know, if I want an iPad in my car, I could just bring this. I could just duct tape this to the car, right? So watch this. Pretend this is the car. I could walk up to the car and duct tape it. Look at that. It's now got a thingy on it. I just saved who knows how much money. A lot of it. Just look at this. Well, if Tesla wants to come to Texas, I don't know, they can go take up Collin Creek. Since we don't want residential at Collin Creek. But yeah, see, save $1,000 just by putting a panel on the car yourself. I wonder if Grandma Otis could benefit from touchscreen. No, she probably wouldn't, though. I can get Grandma Otis's prompt data. All I have to do is go here. I have them all recorded.
Floor. 6th floor. 18th floor. 19th floor. 20th floor. 21st floor. 22nd floor. 23rd floor. 24th floor. 25th floor. 26th.
But see, I already recorded Grandma Otis. I went on that elevator and pressed... Well, I went one floor at a time up to the top and recorded all the voices. Well, I would, but see, Grandma Otis has one slight problem. She's proprietary. See this? There is no way to wire that. It's all proprietary down to there. Oh, but I think the indicator cover just fell. Yep. See? It's all damaged up in there. There's a certain way you gotta get the indicator back in. There we go. Gotta snap it back in. And then I just have it on 2 paper towels to prevent from it scuffing the wall or it getting scuffed by the wall. Just so you know, it's a very valuable panel, so I don't want to break it. But yeah, she's proprietary. This isn't proprietary though, but these are. Yeah, it's a beautiful panel, regardless. Oh, God, New Otis sucks. My local branch even told me that they try to sell people... They try to, like, persuade people not to buy the HydroFit, because even my local branch has told me, yeah, they're probably a fire hazard. So my branch does a very good job. They just tell all the potential customers, they usually just say something like, oh, you know, the HydroFit isn't that good for your application. I think you should go with the Gen 2. They're much faster, and I think your customers will like them a bit more than the HydroFit model. And you don't want oil in your pit, right? Like, that's usually what they'll try to tell all their customers to try to get them to buy a Gen 2. Because they say themselves, you know, the Gen 2 is a safer product. Or in high-rise buildings, well, of course, they'll just try to... My local branch in the high-rises, they don't want to sell you a Gen 2. They'll try to sell you the Skyrise or the 411, because Skyrise is 411. And yeah, that's why I like my Otis branch. They were very nice. They even admit themselves HydroFit is probably a fire hazard, more than likely, and that they will always try to persuade the customer to buy the Gen 2 or Skyrise. Also, they've told me, like, there's some building owners who want, like, the highest floor Gen 2 you can buy, and usually in that case, what they'll do is, instead of that, they will just go ahead and just say, buy the Skyrise, it's better for your application. No, well, see, I missed all the Lexington parts, and I emailed them right before they started modernizing that elevator. And then they managed to save this elevator panel for me, so... And honestly, I really can't complain about Otis since this is really what I wanted, and I got exactly what I wanted, so I can't be complaining too much because, they were nice enough to save me that in the first place. So I think that, Otis was really nice to do that. Oh, I've been on a Lexington from 81. They made Lexington up until... Well, they made Lexington through the 80s. They just changed the design. But for a very brief time, like the 70s up until the 80s, they were just making Lexington really... They were the budget model, then they switched to that newer Lexington, which was then the luxury model. I don't know where on earth that changed, but yeah. That's just the way these things are made. Hydrofire is the worst modern elevator. Honestly, I think the MRL hydraulics should be banned. I think the FCC should ban it. I don't think this should be a legal thing to run. Because you know what? If someone was in your building, if you were the building owner, and let's say the elevator caught on fire and someone got seriously damaged, yeah, you're going to be in for a serious lawsuit there. I'm pretty sure you're going to be dealing with quite the nasty lawyer. And dealing with lawyers is not that much fun because the lawyers that these types of people hire, they will go very, very crazy on you. Because, they're after money. They got hurt. They need to pay off their hospital bills somehow. Insurance isn't going to cover all of it. And the lawyers that those types of people hire, it's never good for the building. And even my local Otis branch knows that. But my local Otis branch, they cannot tell corporate, we don't want to sell the HydroFits. Because, if they did that, they would be ignored. And if they did it repeatedly, well, they'd probably just lose their franchise. But I think, well, whoever on earth has authority over elevator products and stuff like that, whoever passed the plan for HydroFit to be a thing should be fired, first of all. And the new person should just say, no, this is illegal. But you know what? The second that someone gets hurt in like an Ender MRL, a Hydrofire, the second someone gets hurt in one of them, they won't be a thing anymore. It's like the ThyssenKrupp ISIS, Even though, keep in mind, ISIS was used because it was the name of a god, not the terrorist group. That's the thing, A lot of people affiliate them, but nope, they were called that way before that group even existed. So now, it's quite ironic in a bad way. Though the ISIS, I think, if ThyssenKrupp had refined the design, realized that Kevlar was not a good material, I think we would still have ISIS out there. Or at least a modern version of it. Though the ISIS did pave the way to the Synergy, which is actually a very good MRL. It's a great MRL. There's nothing wrong with it. I think ThyssenKrupp is making very good quality MRLs. Their tractions are meh, but their MRLs, I think, are actually pretty good for MRLs. And even the EcoDisc isn't that bad. Like, I've seen people hate on the EcoDisc, but most of the time, I really, the EcoDisc isn't that bad. It's not like a quality product, but all those MRL models, they're all the reason why MRLs fall apart like this is, they don't say this in the contract, but MRL models are all low-use models. MRLs are not supposed to get constantly used. They're supposed to be a lower-use elevator that, they're only there because if someone's disabled, they can use them, or someone just needs to take it. They're not meant to be in constant use for hours at a time. That's the thing about MRLs. They're all low-use models. They're not meant for constant use. Though I will say Kone has done one thing good in that, all their MRL models are actually very efficient, and I praise Kone on that. I am happy that the EcoDisc is so efficient, because it's saving the environment. It's more efficient than the Otis. It's more efficient than the Regen. It's more efficient than every MRL on the market. And EcoDisc, you know, I have never been on a crappy EcoDisc. I've been on some that weren't maintained very well, and they did some interesting things, but they ran okay. And I think as long as they run okay, you know, what's so wrong, right? I've been on some crappy Kones from elsewhere. The San Antonio branch is pretty bad. But, yeah. Well, low-rise hotels are always going to have MRLs because it's actually perfect for them because, you know, not having a windroom, you can really save space with that. And that's why I've also seen, like, you know, Galleria, those Montgomerys are bottom drive because they didn't want a windroom. Because when you have a windroom, it's a waste of space. You just have a big bulge on top of the elevator. So what they did at Galleria was they just decided Galleria, put it in the basement. That fixes all the problems. Put them in the basement. Well, you know, I have been, let's just say someone told me about a Mitsubishi in Dallas. I'm not telling you where it is, but it's not far from where I live. I'm going to go there. The second that I can get out there and see it, I'm going to go see it. But it's going to be a while. Though I did find a Mitsubishi, a third-party one. It was at a boarding house for, like, homeless people where homeless people can spend the night and also they get education. It's a very good center. I'm not giving the name because it's very secure and they have literally patrols, access control. It is the most secure building I think I've ever been in. Other than the Children's Hospital in Dallas. That was also very secure. But honestly, guys, also, this is just a note from the head of security at Children's Plano. Don't go in any of the children's hospitals. They get that you guys like the elevators and, they get you guys like the elevators. They get they may have something a bit out of the ordinary. But they say, please don't come in and go ride them. Get permission from somebody. It's a children's hospital. They don't know. You might be sewn in there with bad purposes. And if you go in there, like, what if you have malicious purposes? What if you're coming in there to do something illegal? Yeah, they don't want you in there if you're going to do that. That's why you can't get in there. Also, in the Dallas location, you can't leave unless you pass the reception desk and get your ticket verified. So, bad idea. Don't go to the children's hospitals. Because who knows what you could be doing in there. Like, they said that they get that their elevators are unique, but they ask that you guys please don't go in children's hospitals. And this is for the whole company. This is not just the Plano location. This is all of them. Don't go in them. The regular hospital, if it wasn't for Corona, that's okay. Just not the maternity ward. You probably shouldn't go in there because they may think that you have bad intentions. And that's why at children's hospitals, security is so strict because they don't know what you're doing. They may think that you're trying to steal a kid or something. And trust me, stealing a kid is a very bad crime. Though, yeah, that's the Plano location isn't that special. It's just a few early ThyssenKrupps from 2003. But we'll see that hotel in Asheville, those elevators were really in the wrong environment. That was the problem. I think they were in the wrong environment for that hotel. Those were in a high-use environment where people were using them constantly. And MRLs just don't hold up. They're not meant to be used 24/7. MRLs are low-use models. In other words, they're not supposed to be used very often. They're only supposed to be used a little bit. If they're in some, like at the AC Hotel, those things were in constant use. Everyone was using them. There's a restaurant in there. They should have went with Ecosystem MR. They really should have. They used the wrong model. That's the problem. They should have used a non-MRL model. Because MRLs are not meant to be used in that fashion. Well, children's hospitals are going to be a pain to film because they think that you're in there to steal the children. That's the problem. Because the Plano location has had problems recently with people going in and attempting to steal a child. And of course it's very secure now, so you can't get past the lobby. And it's gotten to the point where, they've turnstiled the place now. You can't get in there unless you have a sticker for saying you're a visitor or you're escorted. I know someone who works for the company, so I can be escorted in the place, but yeah. But yeah, you guys really should stay out of children's hospitals. Bad idea. What? They discontinued Ecosystem. That sucks. Well, the Asheville Hotel, what they should have went with, that AC Hotel, was a traction model from Kone. They should not have used the EcoDisc. That was not the right model for that building. They installed something not meant to be used in a high-use hotel. Though, you really shouldn't be using any MRLs. Like, you shouldn't use a 5500 either. Those are not good for high-rise buildings. It's, like, you know, the newer products, especially, those things are cheap. MRLs are not meant to be used nonstop. I have been told by many companies that they are all low-use models. These models are meant to be used not as much. Like, you know, it would be in a place where the staircase is there, and most people are going to use the staircase because it's up front, and the elevator's kind of just tucked in the back. That's the ideal place for an MRL, where it's kind of in the back. You know, people are going to use the stairs or escalators. You don't really need the elevator. That's what they're meant for. They're not meant to be the main attraction where everyone's going to go ride the elevator. Like, you know, they're not going to do well in a 10-story hotel with a restaurant on top. Gen 2s are a bit more tailored to that. They're medium-use models, but a lot of people don't know this, but, you know, the reason why some models are total crap and other ones are great is because there are 3 or 4 classes of MRLs. There's the low-class Gen 2, there's the medium-class Gen 2, and there's a high-class. The high-class Gen 2 is the one that you see in, like, malls and busy places. But the lower-class models, those are... The low-class models are usually junk. They're not meant to be used a lot. That's how they are. But yeah, like, that's the thing. Oh dear. Oh, that's funny. But yeah. You know. Also, ThyssenKrupp does the same thing. Like, you know, there's a lower class Signa 4 and the higher class Signa 4. That's why some Signa 4s are total crap, and some are really nice. It just depends on what model they bought. Well, yeah, regular traction and hydraulic are usually the best of what you can buy. I think the normal tractions and the regular hydraulics, those are probably the best thing that you could buy for a building. Like, especially for a high-rise or something. A fancier building, you should probably just stick with, like, the regular non-MRL things, because I think that in the long run, you're going to see better use out of the product. It'll last longer. Though the mentality today is, well, in 9 years when my elevator breaks, you know, I'm not going to own the building anymore. I'm going to sell it to some other guy, and then he can go have fun with Kone replacing it 20 years later. That's not my problem. That's the mentality today. That's why everything's not meant to be... That's why they don't make it 100 years, a lifespan anymore. That's why nothing lasts 100 years now. Nothing is going to last 100 years now. That's the mentality. Well, I wouldn't go on a trip alone I honestly wouldn't even recommend going on a trip alone or flying alone if you're a minor. It can be very dangerous. There are some real creeps on planes that you can run into. Very rare. Keep in mind, this is like a 1 in huge number chance that you can meet a creep, but it happens. Though I haven't been on a flight in who knows how many. I was going to go to Poland this year, and we were going to do a flight. I was going to record it and everything. Yeah, we had to cancel those plans due to COVID and reduce it just to the Galveston. Though, the Galveston isn't that bad. Still going to do the Galveston hotel tour. Still going to do this and that. Yeah. Well, I mean, malls, hotels, office towers, never had problems. Private buildings, I don't go in them. But, you know, I don't really, malls, I've never really had a problem. Like, you know, Galleria Dallas, when they were Simon, they never cared. Galleria's under a new owner now. They still don't care. Though the new owner at Galleria really has actually made an effort to clean everything up. It's actually a lot cleaner. They really cleaned up the elevators. It looks a lot nicer now. And I praise them for that. I am really happy they've done that. And that's great. Well, if it's an empty flight, I love getting the flight to myself. I feel more rich than I actually am. Well, I mean, if you get harassed, there are things you can do in that case. You know, if you're getting harassed, that doesn't mean you should take them to court. But, you know, you can still give them a bad review for it. And if, you know, in a mall, if someone handles it badly, I will give them a 1-star review. Because I'm not going to give them 5 stars. for that. Now, it depends on how I handle it. If the guard says, oh, that's against our policies, you can't do that, I'm sorry, I'm not going to give him a 1-star review for that. That wouldn't make sense. But let's say they're like, what's wrong with you? Get out of my building now. That would be a 1-star review. If you're going to yell at me, I'm going to give you a bad review. But, I've been busted plenty of times. One time, OPG and I were at a church. A really nice security guard busted us. He asked us what we were doing. We explained. He actually took us to see some of the old elevators at that church. He was a really nice guy. And that's how I wish all busting went. But another thing to keep in mind, this is something a lot of enthusiasts don't understand. The building does not cater to you. That is important. You guys gotta know. The thing is, the building does not cater to you. They will modernize the elevator because they're catering to their customers. They are not keeping their elevator original for you. The company doesn't walk in the building either and just say, oh, I'm sorry, man, but you have this old Otis Lex and you need to modernize it now. Yeah. That's not the way it happens. Usually the building, because the way mods work, the building owner hires the company to do the mod. The building owner wants the mod. It's not the elevator company's fault. So you really shouldn't be getting mad at Kone for modernizing your 1928 Otis or something. That's not Kone's fault for modernizing your 1928 Otis. That's the building owner's fault. But the building doesn't cater to you. That's the thing. I have always wanted to get this across. The building does not cater to you. The Antle does not cater to you. The Moody Gardens does not cater to you. Nick's does not cater to you. What's another old elevator? 8220 Westchester doesn't cater to you. If they want to modernize, they can. Well, if they threaten to call the cops, in that case, I would just say, okay, I'm leaving, bye. And just leave. I would not even try to fight with that. But if someone calls the cops, leave. If someone threatens to call the cops, leave. Don't fight with them. If they ask you to stop, the best thing to do is just to get out of the building as quick as you can. Don't mess with them anymore. Don't try to say, well, that's my right to do that. That's not your right to do that. If the building threatens to call the cops on you, you should immediately leave. You have messed with them long enough. You should probably leave. If a guard asks you what you're doing, they do not have the right to detain you. That's a thing. The thing is, guards do not have the right to detain you. That is illegal. All you need to do when a guard asks you is say what you're doing. If they tell you to stop, just leave. Don't try to be like, well, I want to film your elevator. It's a rare 1928 Otis Bakelite black button with the rotor dial indicator. I can't afford to lose this. You're modernizing it next week. You guys should not fight a security guard. They will call the cops. Because, that's what their job is, to keep the building safe. Because, buildings aren't supposed to cater to you. Also, guards do not have the right to make you delete your videos. You can just tell them no and leave. The most thing a building owner or guard can do is just tell you to leave and not come back. That's the harshest thing they can do to you, is tell you to leave. And you know what? That's all you need to do. You just need to leave the building. Don't go back. Give them 6 months if you need to go back there. Give them a year or so, because by then the employees will probably change. An employee passover in those types of jobs is usually very fast, since security guards don't make that much. That's why a lot of them don't care, because they don't make that much. Oh, City Place, you should not go in that tower. That is a very secure building. And yes, it is illegal to take a picture of someone without their consent in the elevator. That's why, when you're trying to film, try your hardest not to get them in the picture, You're gonna do it accidentally. Blur it if you can. YouTube actually offers a tool to blur the videos, which is really good of them. Also, most editing softwares, the major ones, will offer a feature to blur people's faces. That's usually my protocol. Just blur their face, pretend they don't exist. If it's a minor, be sure to blur it. Be sure to blur a minor. you can really get in trouble there. Nothing happened at City Place. Well, it's all modernized now. Fujitech just finished their mod, I think. But City Place, right now, you have to sign in to get to the building. It is not in a very good area. City Place is not a very good area, for those who don't know. The reason why it's sign-in only is because they don't want some random burglar just breaking in and stealing the Mac computers, probably on the 58th floor or whatever. The Dart Station's also really bad. I've heard of plenty of stories where a person stole someone's phone and then ran off with it at a Dart Station. It's not surprising. But on Dart, you just kind of... Dart's easy to use. All you need to do on the Dart is be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of what's going on. Don't ever pay attention to something else. Always pay attention to what's going on at Dart. Don't take your eyes off and go check your Facebook or whatever. Those criminals are opportunistic. They will take your phone if you're distracted. That's the way it works. Well, I can go to the ant hole whenever I want. They're open right now. However, since I have a relative in my family who is older, I do not want to get them sick and kill them potentially. I do not want to kill anyone. By a stupid mistake, I am going to wait until the pandemic has at least... until it's calm enough to where, it's very unlikely you're going to catch a case. This summer, most likely. That's the thing. Because, I'm pretty sure... Because, the news channels aren't that accurate, okay? The news... Again, as I've said before in the stream, if you've already heard it... What the news is doing is they're trying to invoke fear in you. They want you to be scared. These news reporters want you to be scared of the virus. And the reason they want you to be scared is because if you're scared, you're going to go on their website and you're going to buy a membership, most likely. They can push a membership on you that way. They can be like, I know this is horrifying, but don't worry, we've got you. Buy a membership and we'll send you notifications to your computer. So you should go ahead and buy our membership. And the people who buy the memberships are the people they want. Because in those memberships, they can be like, oh, but for an additional $2,000 for 5 years in a row, we can sell you a membership for 7 years in a row for $2,000. How about that? And then, if it comes back, we'll keep you up to date. And these people fall for it. Because they aren't seriously concerned that this is a problem. And that happens. That is why this happens. That's the thing about the media. You don't need to listen to everything they say. Also, a lot of people don't know this. You know the killer hornet story? They let that one very important detail. Those killer hornets, they're called Asian giant hornets, first of all. They only found one and it was dead. And it's so unlikely that they're going to come to the US. What they're trying to do there too is invoke fear in you. They want you to be afraid. News companies want you to be afraid. You're more likely to spend money when you're afraid. Every place that you're ever going to visit, hotels, whatever, what they're going to want to do, they want to make you either feel really happy, because you'll spend more money if you're really happy, nostalgic, you'll spend more money, or scared, you'll spend more money if you're scared too. The reason this calculator is so big is this calculator is from the 60s. It's very old. It doesn't even take batteries, it's electric. It's very old. And back then, you needed bigger space for these components. It's not new. This thing's pretty old. I got it from Andrew. YouTube user Diesel Deuce, he sent this to me. Big thank you to him. I really love that calculator. I do have access to the news that the doctors get. That is written by the doctors in New York right now. And what they're saying is, they have leveled the curve. We are in a state right now where there's enough hospital beds going around. If someone gets sick, there is no shortage. We have replenished our stock. Yeah. That's the thing. And the news reporters are trying to say, well, they're raising restrictions while it's going up. Well, duh, that number's going to go up regardless of what you do. That number's not going to go down. You can't just be like, oh, I'm not sick anymore. Take my number off the graph, people. And depending on the graph, of course it's going to keep going up. The graph isn't going to go like this. That's not how those work. That's just the amount of cases people are getting. Of course the number's going to go up. It's one of those numbers that only goes up. But the news companies want to scare you into a membership. And when you're scared, you'll spend more. I took a marketing class. Well, the reason why modernizations are happening is because the building doesn't cater to you. They're modernizing it because the customers in the building, they don't like the old elevator. It scares them. People are scared of older elevator equipment. That makes sense. So what do? They upgrade it so people feel comfortable with it. And if the elevator's modern, you have a better chance of getting a lease in that building. And if you get a lease, it's perfect. You want a full building, right? And the building isn't catering to you. Buildings don't like elevator enthusiasts. I know a handful of property managers who have told me the one type of thing they hate in their building are enthusiasts. Because all they do is they go in the building and they go and mess up the elevators, take thousands of rides on them, they break them down. They're using up electricity. It's not like, if you're filling a car wash, they could actually like you because, you're buying it from them. You're sticking money in the machine. They're getting paid to run the system. You're not paying to ride the elevator. That's free. So you're actually wasting money when you're riding the elevator. And they don't like that for obvious reasons. Let's save the region. That's probably not that bad. I took a marketing class 2 years ago. But yeah, I learned some really good things. Like, if you can get someone feeling very happy, when you make someone feel happy, you can actually get them to spend a lot more. Or if you make them feel like, you can see us at the Apple Store. They'll be really nice to you and they will treat you like royalty on purpose. They're not treating you like royalty because they like you in the store. Well, of course they like you in the store. They want to keep you in that Apple Store as long as possible. So you're going to look at the MacBooks. You're going to look at the iPads. And you're going to be like, I want to buy that. And you're going to buy it. That's the way it works. They want you to feel happy, relaxed, because you'll spend more money. They don't want you on edge because you won't spend more money. That's how it works. That's the most common way of marketing. I think I might have even had COVID by now. I was really sick a few months ago and I had every symptom, so I'm pretty sure I've already had it. But just in case, I'm not going to go out and risk it. Because I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to go around licking elevator doors or buttons. Because that's vandalism too. You can get in a lot of trouble for doing it. So it's not a good idea. Also getting parts for mods, well, the company doesn't have to give you parts, but if they're really nice, they will. And I love when company gives parts. Because you can keep things like this alive. This is history. You're keeping it alive. You're not letting it die. This is great. OPG, I don't think you're going to become TTF anytime soon. There are worse people. OPG, when you were, accidentally correcting people, I know you weren't meaning to do it. You're a very exact person, OPG. I know that about you. You're just very exact. You're a very precise person. Okay? I think that you just you're very precise. But, yeah, that's the thing. And now you don't do it, and it's fine. Everyone's happy about it now. And Texas Technical Freak, do I know another handful of people that are much worse that will correct you a lot more. There is a reason I became unaffiliated with the elevator community. There's a good reason. And I'm happy that I became unaffiliated. I feel better now. I've never felt this good about myself since I left. I'm happy I left. I feel better now. I don't feel like I have a weight on my back 24/7. That's good. I don't like having a weight on my back 24/7. For me, when riding elevators, I judge it by 3 things. First, I see, are they busy? Answer, yes, 1 ride. Is it not busy, and is it not epic? Probably just 1 ride anyways. Does it have an epic motor? Maybe I'll do 2, and the second one I'll let the doors close before I start it. Is it something vintage? Yes, maybe 3. Max. Is it busy? 2. Is it very busy? 1. That's the thing. I judge them by how they're in the current state. If they're very busy, I'm not even gonna... If it's extremely busy and there's a line, I'm not even gonna ride it because I don't want to slow them down. I don't want to be a useless person on the system. Because there's no point... If it's already super busy, you shouldn't be riding it because there are other people who may need the elevator, but now they can't use it. So... I want to be nice to the people in the building, too. Because, without them, we wouldn't have the elevator. Without the people who own the Antle, we wouldn't have this. Grandma Otis would never have been put into existence. But she is in existence. And see? Perfect. That's how it is. Because we can put Grandma Otis into existence. Well, the elevator community, well, here's the thing, the elevator community is unusual. It's not something you see every day. And that's true. That's the thing. It's not something you see every day. And I totally get that. It's not. Well, yes, there are some communities out there that may be a bit more unique than the elevator community. It is still a pretty, uncommon thing. There are probably tons of communities out there that are weirder. Or more different. But, there is no... I don't think there's a definition for normal, though. There really isn't. Because what's normal? Everyone's weird in their own way. But yeah, it kind of is a joke, though. Because, it's a lot like what a kid does. They go in the building, they go ride the elevator a few times. Hopefully not 10 times, because, one time I was staying at this hotel in Galveston, Moody Gardens, and I was doing my hotel tour, and I had to pause because this front desk lady asked me, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm just filming a review. She's like, didn't you film the elevator? I'm like, yeah, why? And she's like, oh, we had this kid in here a few years ago. He came and rode the elevators, and he filmed them. And right after, he took the elevator on 10 rides, and it broke when he got off. And we had to call Schindler the next day, and it was some really expensive price. And she's like, we had to waste a lot of money because Schindler has to come all the way from Houston to come fix their elevators when they break. And apparently all Schindler had to do was cut the main line and put it back into service. But they weren't happy. And, I apologized about that. I'm like, that sucks. I'm like, I didn't take it on 10 rides, I can assure you that. But I'm sorry you had to go through that. But yeah, that's what... Yeah. Also, guys, another thing that I've always wanted to say. I was told this at my school. When you're applying for a job, never put any communities you're in on your resume. They do not know anything about your communities, okay? They will just... If they don't know it, they will Google it. And if they find one thing bad, they're going to shred your resume. They're not going to hire you. You should never list any communities you're in. In hobbies, just list something that you'd expect. Oh, I like uploading my edited videos to YouTube as a hobby. If you want to put that down, that's fine. But don't say, oh, I'm part of this community, but we had this issue with a special needs kid getting bullied. But don't Google that for me, please. The people who bullied NC Elevator level, they should be ashamed of themselves. It's horrible. You should not be bullying a kid who has special needs because, he was actually doing it to compliment the videos. I understand it's stealing them, and, I did write to him saying, I don't really appreciate you doing that, could you please pull it down? I gave him a reasonable day limit. I gave him 3 days, and he didn't, but, I never threatened him. I just said, what I said was, I don't like you doing that. Could you please not do it? He didn't do it after that. And, I just filed a copyright strike. Didn't do anything after. Played out fine. And, if he does it again, all I would say to do, politely ask him to pull it down. His parents will get back to you, hopefully. Give him a week or so. I think 3 days may have been a little bit stingy now that I think back on it. But, yeah. Just don't bully him, That video that was making fun of him, the second I saw that video, I gave it a dislike. Because it's nasty. Nasty. You guys should not. It's not funny to be making fun of a kid with special needs. That's not... I don't see the joke in that. Unless you're the joke yourself. Then that might be funny. But I'm glad the person pulled down the video. But, every single person on that video who said, good revenge, I just unsubscribed from them. Even if they went back on Andrew's video and said, oh, I would never do that. Well, you'd never do that? Then why'd you do it? Could you please explain that to me? I need you to elaborate on that for me a bit. But that's something we have to deal with. Well, Jim, you want to know the full thing about Moody Gardens? They said some kid... He looked pretty young, they said. They don't know who it was, but it was some young kid. He went and filmed the elevators. He filmed every elevator in the building, right? He filmed the little Schindler MT in the convention center. He filmed the 500 days in the main MTs. He got off the MTs after he was done, but then he pressed the button again and took one on 10 rides. From the basement to the top, bottom, like this, 10 times. He got off, the doors closed, and it broke. Because a lot of people don't know how Schindlers break. What Schindlers do when they break they will always try to let you off before they break. That's a Schindler controller at work. Schindlers will always try to let you off before they break down. But the second you get off and it closes, they'll go out of service. The reason they do that is because Schindler has programmed in a thing to make sure that you don't get stuck, or to prevent that, make it unlikely. They will always try to level with the floor and let you off and then break. That's what they do. Whenever they encounter a problem, they'll let you off and then break. Because that's the whole thing. Like, they want you to be able to escape. Or what some 300As will do is when they get stuck, they'll try to reset themselves 30 seconds later. And after they reset, they should fix themselves. And it'll be fine. That's how they work. It's a really cool feature. And I'm glad Schindler has offered that. But yeah. Well, everyone who, just was like, oh, I've never done that before. Everyone who kind of just covered their butts when Andrew called them out, that's double standards. That's lying. That's denying that you've done something wrong. And trying to say, oh, I never did anything wrong, right? Just telling yourself, if you did something wrong, you should just apologize and move on. You shouldn't tell yourself that you weren't doing anything wrong, because guilt doesn't die. It comes back. It may be gone now, but, it hits harder when it comes back. Trust me. That's the problem. That's what happens. I don't think Westies have any programs to let you out. Schindler has actually programmed. They have programmed their elevators to try to let you out as much as possible. There are times when they cannot let you out, and they just have to stop for a major safety fault. But most of the time, the Schindlers will try to let you out. Or they will try to reboot and then let you out. They try their hardest not to get stuck. But so does every major manufacturer as of now, really. I don't think I've ever been stuck in a Westie, though. Well, personally, I love Westinghouses. Why? I don't know. I just love Westinghouses. I love how they're so unpredictable. That's what makes them fun. I love how they're rough, unpredictable, and you never quite know what's going to happen next. And that's what makes them fun. I love it when I don't know what's going to happen next to the Westinghouse. 1 minute you're going up to 2, and the next minute you're going down to the basement for no reason, when there's the top floor's 4. That's what I love about them. Because I'm probably just as unpredictable. Because I do have a problem where I'm pretty unpredictable. No one quite knows what I'm going to do next. That's a problem of mine. Okay, I think we need to plug in the phone really quick. Let me go get the charger. Which, guys, you can go laugh at me. I wasted my money on this. I bought this adapter a while ago, one of the high-speed adapters for my iPhone, since the other one was too slow. I know I wasted my money on Apple, but whoops. Okay, let me get the charging bar. And yeah, guys, I know I bought an actual surge strip. Isn't that nice? A lot of people were telling me to go buy surge strips, so I did. Let's see if we can fit MacBook charger in differently. Oh well, it's got a good battery in it. I don't think that'll be a problem. There we go. We're back in business. There we go. Now we're charging. Okay, the stream's not gonna die. But yeah, this computer's brand new. It's got good battery in it, I think. I don't know. We can go ahead and eject the SD card. Alright, bye TKE. Bye OBG. Well, Jim, did you write it 10 times afterwards? If you didn't write it 10 times afterward, then it wasn't you. But, if you were the one who, took it on too many rides, it's okay to admit it. And if you don't want to admit it, fine. But, I think, as long as you're not the one who did it, and you're sure that you were not the one who took 10 rides on it, it's not you. Oh dear, my alarm clock's interfering again. This alarm clock's a cheap one I bought at Target. I see these in hotels all the time, though. This is a hotel alarm clock. I see them in every hotel almost. A lot of independent properties use these things. I've seen some Westons with them, too. They're pretty common in hotels. But yeah, see, Jim, if you didn't write it 10 times, then it wasn't you. And, they just said it was some kid. Likely, they don't know how old the kid was. He looked like he was maybe 10, anywhere from 10 to like maybe mid-teenagers, right? I think that's, I think they said he was younger. He looked like he was 10, anywhere between 10 and maybe 18. Somewhere in between then. Like, you know, they just said it was some kid who did it. They weren't too happy about it, because, I mean, in Galveston especially, like, you know, calling Schindler, it's really expensive, because Schindler has to drive all the way from Houston to Galveston. That's an hour drive, so they're going to charge you more. And it's like $100 just to call them out to reset the elevator. Actually, probably more like $300 because of all the driving charges. But Jim, I don't think you would take that many rides at Moody. I mean, I've seen your videos. You only took like 2 or 3 per bank. And only like 1 on the convention center elevator. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Everyone's broken in an elevator at least once. I've broken an elevator. I mean, it's happened. There have been times where I got off the elevator and it broke. It's happened. More than once. Actually, it's happened one time. It happened at Willow Bend one time. I broke an MT. It let me off and then it broke. Because Schindler 300 Days do that. They let you off and they break. That's how they're programmed to work. And you know what? It happened. It's been fixed. It's common. Not completely my fault. The elevator it found a fault. It shut down like it was supposed to. It rebooted itself. I think it re-entered service an hour later. So, there was nothing... No harm... No damage taken. And you know what? If it breaks, it's not really your fault. Unless you took it on like 20 rides or something, then it might be your fault. But, you know, these controllers, like, you know, when the elevator gets stuck, what usually happens is the controller just realizes, oh, wait, that's not right. And then it stops. That's what happens. Whenever you get stuck, the controller is just like, oh, wait a second. That's not supposed to be happening right now. I need to stop. This is a problem. And it just stops. Controllers are very simple. And as a matter of fact, most controllers don't even know where they are in the shaft. They're just like, okay, go up to 48 and then open. That's usually all they have. It's just their load of simple commands. Now, if you're talking Elevonic 401, that's different. 401s are very advanced. They know their position. They know everything. Strip mall elevators in Metro. There aren't that many strip malls in, like, the Dallas area. It didn't get damaged. What happened was they took it on too many rides, and I think they just caused the elevator to... Because, you know, these things are programmed to go into a special thing when they need maintenance. After a certain amount of rides, they'll need maintenance, right? That's the thing. So it probably just said, okay, it's time for maintenance now. I've been on enough rides for maintenance. Let me go. Call Schindler up now. It's time for maintenance. And then it just broke. Because then it probably just encountered something saying, oh, that's not right. Then it went and rebooted. And it didn't reboot correctly or something. Who knows? Who knows what really happened? It wasn't damaged. All Schindler apparently had to do was go in the machine room, flip the switch, and it was fine. They still did the maintenance. They maintained every elevator because Schindler was out there, and, you know, they're only there like once a month unless it breaks. But yeah. So in strip malls, if you want to see a strip mall, most of them are in Plano and Frisco and Coppell. If you want a strip mall, go to Coppell or Plano or Frisco. And Plano, most of them have ESCO with GAL. In Dallas, ESCO. The ones in Dallas usually have ESCO. Well, there are some in the Dallas area, but they're all in North Dallas for the most part. And at most strip malls, you're going to find an Otis, ESCO, or a US. Maybe a Westinghouse if you're lucky, or a Monty. But yeah, 90% of the strip malls I've encountered are all in Plano or North Dallas. I've never found one in, like, downtown. But Park Pavilion Place is good. Berkeley Square is another good one. Enterprise Square is really nice. Let me think of another one. Mockingbird Commons is really good. Those are nice. Well, at Moody, they wouldn't question you right away. I think that, you know, that person was a manager. I know that. They had been working with the hotel probably for the past 5 years. And I'm pretty sure, like, you know, I'm pretty sure the only reason why they remember that, because, you know, it's not every day that you have some kid take enthusiasm of the elevators. Like, you know, that's not an everyday thing. It's a rare event in terms. It's a pretty rare event to happen. So, you know, that's what happens. That's how it works. Oh yeah, another good strip mall. The Parkway and Stadium Center are both pretty cool. I mean, most of the elevators in the strip mall are just going to be a little bit of a rundown 80s elevator. That's what you're going to find. They're all going to be run down. Every strip mall I've ever been to has a rundown elevator, but they all work okay, and the Esco ones are pretty nice. Oh, Mockingbird Central Plaza. Is that crappy modded Esco one that showed the 11? That one was fun. It ran terribly, but that one was just a fail. Nothing was good about it. It had bruiser, it ran terribly, was not glass when it had a nice view. They failed in every way. I thought it was an Otis, but then I realized, oh wait, that's an Esco. There's also Mockingbird Commons, but they actually closed. Or no, that was the Maplewood Center. The Maplewood Shopping Center, if you want to go there, it's been torn down, so it's gone. Maplewood was torn down last year. Wait, let me find a really good... Let me show one of the good ones that I recommend myself. It's called Little Asia. It's really nice. Little Asia has this really nice Esco. Schindler never got back to me, though. From what I have friends who have gone there and asked for parts themselves, and the hotel said that they need to ask Schindler, and I don't think they ever asked Schindler, but I think the reason why I am now thinking that what happened was because, you know, Andrew apparently talked Schindler out, a building owner, out of doing a Schindler mod a few years ago. I'm wondering if they're just mad about that. Oh, yeah. The Holiday Inn, yeah. I remember that. The DFW Airport Hotel, I've heard about that hotel. I heard it was really bad. Lakewood Village is now gone. It got modernized not that long ago. Though it's still in the original controller, they just replaced the buttons. Very common. The modernizations we get here are usually just a new set of buttons and it's off to go serve another 10 years. But let me see which one I recommend personally. Yeah, Little Asia's Park Pavilion Place. They renamed last year to Little Asia because it's now an Asian... They're full of Asian stores and one Mexican place. I've been to that Mexican place when I have problems. No, JK, I do not go to the Mexican place when I have problems. Don't go to the Mexican place when you have problems. That's not going to help you very much, probably. But Enterprise Square is really good. I really recommend this one. This A-series. This is called Enterprise Square. It's in Plano, right by Collin Creek, right on the Central Expressway. This one's really nice. It runs really well. It's in beautiful condition. Great motor. Very loud. Yeah. Well, Jim, it's not your fault at Moody Gardens. I mean, if you were the one that broke it, maybe you didn't take 10 rides. Maybe they were elaborating on it. I don't know. It was just some manager that questioned me at the front desk. I mean, it might have been 2 to 3 rides, and it might have just tripped the maintenance counter, thinking it was time for maintenance when it wasn't. But, you know, most elevators have a thing on them where, you know, after a certain amount of rides, it'll say, okay, it's time for maintenance. And usually when one trips, they'll just do all the elevators, reset the counters. And yeah, that's a good maintenance system they got going there. But that's what kind of happens. Because you don't want to ride an elevator that's not being maintained correctly. Because, you know, it's not good. And that's probably what happened. More than likely, that's what happened. And, you know, I went to Moody Gardens myself. Those elevators... I have been told there that those things aren't that reliable either. I heard that they break down sometimes. It's not, like, common, but, you know, it happens once a month. Especially, apparently, since, you know, what happens there is apparently the fire alarm sometimes triggers itself, and the elevator always goes out of service. One of them always breaks during fire service. I experienced it myself. One of them did break. I don't think that they're meant to do fire recall. How many locks? I can give you a rough estimate of probably 100. Maybe 105. That's a rough estimate. These are my most notable. Gainer, Best, and Best. Those are my favorites. I have a whole box, like, you know, just cheap master locks I got at Home Depot and other locks that, you know... I have a few locks that my family gave me, one that my tutor gave me, yeah. No, I don't think Schindler was mad at you. I think what happened was, I think that, these are some very famous elevators. They're very well known. When people heard they were getting modded, I think a lot of people asked, and they were not expecting such an influx. And I think they've just gotten so many requests, they've just, tuned it out. But I'm sure if, I'm almost certain if someone could ask them and get in touch with the boss of the mod project, like whoever is coordinating this, they could probably get the parts. And honestly, I wouldn't recommend calling them or running after them or doing anything with them. Not a good idea. Yeah, the new master locks suck. I wouldn't use any master lock to secure my stuff. They're not secure. You can pick those things with no effort. But I think master lock, they just haven't changed their design. There are other locks that they sell now that are so much more secure and you can buy them. Oh yeah, trust me, Jim. There's one thing I do know about, it's how many people have begged for parts at the River Center Marriott. When I was with Kayla and we were talking to that front desk lady, she was like, "Oh, we've heard that question before." Well, I think that I just asked her, I was like, "Have you guys gotten that question before? How many people have asked you?" She's like, "Oh, we've had a few kids come up and ask us before for the parts." So, yeah. Let me go get one of my old masters, but I'll take the phone this time since I have enough charge now to sustain. We can go look at my parts, too. This is just parts that, these came from mod projects. That's from a mod project. That's from a replacement mod project. eBay. Rest is eBay. Except for that. That's mod project and mod project. eBay. All those down there are from a modernization. Those are from a mod. I get most of my parts from mods. I got a whole lot of these things. So this is my old Master 77. It's a nice little lock. Does its job well. I wouldn't use it because, I'm afraid someone would just try to pick it instantly. Yeah, Jim. Well, even if you were the original, I don't think that they were... I think that it was just a lot of, little kids, too, were running up and asking for it. Oh, no. If someone asks, you know what? If somebody went to the market parking garage and they started modding it, there would be a line out the door for people asking ThyssenKrupp for parts if they modded Market Parking Garage. In all honesty, trust me when I say, there would be a line of people out the door asking for parts. No joke. But yeah, this is my master. It has one of these. This is one of those old master keys, back when they had the cursive type font. 5187 is the key number. Works really well. Very well oiled. The seller that was selling this completely restored this lock. They put new oil in it. This one's got the lion on it. Patent pending. It's very old. The seller I bought this from apparently completely restored this lock. They polished it. They gave it a nice vintage look. They did a really nice job restoring this lock. They oiled it. It works perfectly. Yeah, Andrew should get the market COP. And, the thing is with Andrew, I'm really close friends with Andrew. I know him very well. I do call him occasionally. And, Andrew has told me, I'm not sure if you'd even want the market COP since, what he has told me is, once he already has a COP, he doesn't need another. He doesn't want another Series 1 panel. He has one. He just wants one of everything for his gift. Well, the reason why River Center was getting modded was because what they were doing with River Center was, I think that Andrew filmed them, and a lot of people love those. And I think a ton of kids in San Antonio, because San Antonio is home to a lot of enthusiasts, a lot of them who, I will admit, are mentally challenged in a way or another. They have disabilities. They don't understand that, I can't ask, I'm bugging them. They don't understand that. They think that, they're being fine. They're just doing what they're thinking. That's how a lot of people who have autism don't understand that, that's bad. And I understand that. That's understandable. That's not something we should be mad about. But I think the hotel said they'd had 3 or 4 kids already ask the front desk for parts. And the managers can't ask for parts. They've already asked and they've said no. And you know what? I bet if someone knew Schindler Tech personally, they'd probably say yes. And another thing to keep in mind, like, you know, for Otis, right? All 401 panels, everything above a 401, the hydraulics don't have this, but all the Elevant 401s and up, all the traction models, they're all given a serial number. Grandma Otis has a serial number. They have to turn those back into Otis. The reason is because when they turn it back into Otis, the serial number is taken out of the system and reused for a new model. The technicians can't give you the parts because they don't have the tool to put the serial number back in and say, oh, we gave this to somebody as a gift. But I got in contact with the manager at Otis, and he himself told me, like, yeah, I already took it out of the system. It's yours now. But yeah, the thing about 401 panels, they all are given a serial number for the elevator. Everything with that serial number has to go back to Otis to be scrapped normally. This was a lucky panel. Grandma Otis was lucky enough to avoid being scrapped and sent back to Otis. And they just said, oh, they just put it through the system saying voided. The serial number is now out. So, yeah, but there might be another Elevonic 401 out there one day with the same serial number. Or 411 or Skyrise. Whatever the modern model is. But yeah. Well, you know, once Galleria, Kone can get back to me and get me that panel I want, I think they will. Because Kone did email me a while ago saying, yeah, we're going to get you the panel the second that we can get one of our techs out there to go pick it up for you. I don't really have space either, but I have a little bit left. And right now, I'm only going after things I want. Like, the only thing I'm after right now is Schindler. I'm after L Series, which I'm about to get, so I don't need to want that anymore. And Vector. Those are the only two fixtures I want. Actually, it's L Series, Vector, and A Series. Those are the three fixtures I want. After I get those, I don't need any more. I only want three things. And I got most of the things I've already wanted. I got Lexington. I got Series 1. I have Dover Traditional. I have Dover Traditional VR. Epco Halo line. Circle line. AE. I have all the buttons I want. So I don't need to go ask for more parts. Get back into the laptop. But yeah. That's the thing. Like, you know, I've already I got everything I need. I think, like, you know, yeah, I think that, you know, if you were the first one that asked, you're probably the most likely that they would reply to. And I think what happened was, you know, I think a lot of people in San Antonio, when they heard about it, a lot of the kids who live in San Antonio, they probably just ran up to that Marriott and were like, parts. And, well, you know, if you're demanding for parts, they're not going to give it to you. Because you got to politely ask for the parts. You can't just say, give them now. Trust me, they will not give you the parts. They'll probably give you a piece of their mind instead. But if you want a piece of their mind, that's fine. But yeah, I think you did do it correctly, you know? If they don't want to give the parts, that's up to them. Also, guys, if you want parts, one place I would never recommend is eBay. eBay is not a very good deal. On eBay, you can buy things marked up. And you know what? I got my eye on quite a few Vectors, and if one gets modded, I'm going to go up and ask for parts for it. Because I want Vector. Am I going to get Vector? Unlikely. Why? Because they're rare. And it seems like, you know, they all get modded when you're least expecting it. I mean, it would be really cool to get the Vector COP. Yeah, manners. Like, you know, when you're writing a note, you need to be asking for it. You can't just be like, give those now. I want this for my collection. Like, if you give them that, the only thing they're going to give you is a piece of their mind. Or they'll just throw your letter in the trash. Like, you know, with Kone, I was just like, you know, I saw the elevator was getting replaced. You know, is there any way you could do this for me? If you could, thank you. And I was sure to thank them for it. Oh, yeah, eBay loves their Adams. I was looking at this Westinghouse AE place. There was this AE on eBay I really wanted, but, you know, then I looked at it and said, wait, I already have AE. Why would I want this? So now I don't want it. I already have AE. I don't want to buy something I already have. I have all my favorite fixtures. And yes, I like WN. Deal with it. But yeah. Well, yeah. All I want is my childhood fixtures. Once I get it, I don't need it. If I can get more, perfect. I mean, you know, like all those Epco buttons, I give them to my friends all the time. Like, usually when I meet someone, I try to give them an Epco button because I have too many Halo line buttons and I'm trying to get rid of them. Though, I am not going to give them to somebody random. Like, please don't ask on my comments, can I have one? Because the answer is no. I'm only going to give it to people who need them, first of all. I only want to give my parts to people who don't already have it. Like, if you don't have Halo Line, yes. If you do have Halo Line, no. Because you already have Halo Line, so why would I give you Halo Line if you already have it? Yeah, you shouldn't be begging for parts. That shows them that, well, Collin Creek is a bit flat at the moment, so... Well, what happened was at Collin Creek, it's a really sad story. So GTS Elevators called up the demolition company and just asked, I know what he said. He literally asked, those elevators are partial to me. I was wondering if you could save me the buttons. And the lady on the other end was so rude. She literally said, no, idiot, we don't do that, and started laughing at him, then hung up. Very unacceptable. That is... How? I understand it's a demolition company. It's not going to be professional service. I get that. Like, no, it's not going to be like, of course, I'm about to bring some tea and a crumpet, and we can all drink and have a great time thinking about Collin Creek. But what happened was, like, that doesn't mean you should call him an idiot. That doesn't mean you go call him an idiot. I mean, what if you said someone's an idiot? Just imagine how many bad reviews you can get. He literally just said, those elevators are partial to me. Do you mind? Is there any way that you guys could save me the panel? Save me a piece of it? And they said, no, idiot. We don't do that here, and hung up. How? You can't run a business like that. No one's going to like your business if that's your customer service. And I was sure to give him a bad review for it, because I'm not going to give you a good review for that. That's brutal. And I'm sorry if it sounds a bit triggered, but I'm not happy about it. That's brutally rude. That's not how you treat your customers. Well, I mean, you can treat your customers that way, but I don't think they'll like you. Oh yeah, we can look at the calculator. Yeah, Andrew gave me this calculator a while ago. We can plug it in. See, it takes this really weird old plug. I don't like this plug very much, and it kind of just... You gotta force it in there. And now... There. It'll turn on and... Yeah, just like that. Big thank you to Andrew for giving that to me. I love that calculator. I use it all the time. Yeah, because GTS wanted something sentimental. They literally said, no, idiot, we don't do that here. How? How can you run a business like that and expect to get any customers? Well, Chick-fil-A... I've never seen one with an elevator, but I can tell you Chick-fil-A has great service. I've eaten there many times. One time I was actually wowed by this. I was at a Chick-fil-A with my school. They were literally waiting on our tables like a fancy dining restaurant. I've never seen... That was amazing service. They got a 5-star review because, if you're waiting on our tables, that's great. So, yeah. Well, if an inspector was harassing, I mean, what's wrong with hanging out with the techs? If they don't care about it, like, what's the problem? Though Austin, I will say, when I went to Austin, Texas a few months ago, they were actually very nice. Everyone I met in Austin was very friendly. I mean, in Austin, it seems like a much nicer city than Dallas. Everyone in Austin's a lot nicer, usually. Most of the people in Austin are very nice. Like, I went in this old building. They had a vintage Dover with black buttons. The property manager was just like, oh, you guys want to see the machine room? Like, he just asked that out of nowhere, and we were like, sure. And to our surprise, he actually went and got the key and showed us the machine room. I have never seen that before. It was amazing. Best experience ever. He was a really nice guy. But unfortunately, we were told that building might get modernized soon. Yeah, Chick-fil-A is good. I love their service. I can't get over how that restaurant was waiting on our tables like a professional restaurant. How many fast food places have you been to where they wait on your table? Oh, I have a childhood elevator. They're gone. They got modernized by Otis. They were these two beautiful 1950s Montgomerys with black buttons. And unfortunately, Otis got their hands on them. But then I found an old elevator across the street, so I'm okay. I actually have a video of them somewhere. I was really triggered when they modded it, but now I really don't care. Yep, this is what they look like. Crappy old intro. These are the elevators.
3.
They were very cool. I love those elevators so much. I had a doctor's office in this building. I would ride them every time, even though they horrified me. I loved riding those things. I'm really happy. I am honestly grateful that I was able to get in that building one more time, take one more ride on that elevator before it went. Because apparently not even a month after that, it got modded. I am very, very grateful that I got the chance to get it on camera before it went. And looking back, it's documented. You know what? Now I can say, it's been documented. This elevator, it's on the internet now. It's never gonna die. Like, this is grade 2 documentation right here, where you get to save a piece of it, but yeah. I actually agree with that opinion. Otis is just okay. They're not amazing. They're not terrible either. I think every company is okay. They're not great. They're not horrible. I think Dover was a great company, though. I think Dover made the best hydraulics. Montgomery wasn't far behind, though. The thing about Montgomery is the Montgomery from the 80s is not the Montgomery from the 60s. Because in the 80s, Montgomery decided, with the A-Series and Vector, they were going to make it cheaper. And they did. However, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because A-Series are still out there. Though the reason why they're so rare now is because there's no parts for them anymore. Well, the parts that do exist still, they're very rare. And if you can find them, you're lucky. And, unfortunately, that means they get modded. However, that's not really a big problem anymore. Because now they've changed it. And that's good. Oh, this will bring back memories. For any of my old viewers, you'll remember this. Remember this? We were filling the atoll. They all looked like they were running.
Oh, they do. They fixed them. Oh my gosh. I can show you the video later where they don't.
See, this right here, this was the video right before they modernized them. This was only a month before they began. I wonder if the video where the atoll was modded is still there, where I was like, oh crap, that was hilarious. I mean, back then I was feeling horrible, but today, looking back on it, it's hilarious. I mean, I can laugh at myself for being that big of an idiot. Because I was being stupid back then. I will admit it. I was way too emotional over it. Yeah, you're lucky you got those Dover parts, because it's very rare to find a brass Dover. It's very, very rare. Those parts, in 10 years, if you ever wanted to sell them off, you'd get rich. Because brass Dover parts are extremely rare. Like, you're lucky if you find a brass Dover. That's how rare they are. It's rare to find brass Otis, too. Brass is much rarer. So yeah, if you get brass stuff, you're lucky. Let me see if I can find a video of the atoll where I was angry over them modding the Lexans. I find that hilarious. It's so stupid to get angry over, but at the same time, I was so mad about it. Because I really didn't want it to go, but I don't know. It was an emotional train wreck. This is why they mod the atoll right here. This type of stuff. This is why they modded the atoll.
Really? Maybe there's a good reason. It's just not.
No, I didn't get parts off those, but I did. Yep, loving those 401s. Those 401s meant a lot to me. Oh, chrome is really rare too. Chrome is just as rare. Because chrome, it scratches with nothing. You can scratch chrome easily.
And
See, at this time, I was really shocked that I was expecting no 401s to be left. This was taken in... Actually, this is Grandma Otis's video. I was actually shocked that the power was on and it was running. See, I was really shocked that Grandma Otis was running in January because the mod was way past done at that time. I was just wide-eyed at that point. It was hilarious. looking back on it, I mean, at the time I was really happy, but now I just can't help but laugh at that. I just find it so funny. Oh, you want drunk? I can give you some drunk. Oh, I can find you the drunk. You don't even have to ask. Drunk? You want drunk? I'll give you some drunk. Okay, so we have drunk with puberty or drunk without puberty. I'm assuming with drunk with puberty will be a little bit better. Here we go. Drunk Schindler! The way it fades, that's good, that's good.
That's so bad. Aw, what?
Let's turn the volume up for this one.
Funny, and you're drunk. I think you need to lay off on the alcohol. Even better.
Sounds like a tornado siren. I love that. I love how it just like screams. Oh, I've been on plenty in Dallas that do that too. That I find hilarious.
Schindler, you're drunk. Go home. Go home.
Let me just check these really quick. Nothing today. Oh, yay! All of the, every one of those things, you know, where someone... Yeah, that's funny. Oh my god, don't even get me started on those River Center videos. I pulled them down because they're just so immature. Yeah, that was at the Moody Gardens parking garage on the 3rd floor. Actually, no, that was 5. I think. But yeah, if you go Jim, if you ever go back to the Moody Gardens and you go back to that parking garage back by the ballrooms, those things, the chimes are dying on them. It's hilarious. I think it's already dead on the inside. Oh, this is the puberty version.
Look at this chime.
And
Oh, it's left. No, it hasn't. I think these chimes are done.
well, Jim, remember that video about the River Center mod where I was really triggered and hating on it? I think that video was so immature that, you know, it gave a really bad... like, you know, the thing is, when you're doing a video, right? Every video needs to represent your channel in a good way, right? And I think that video was a really bad representation of the channel because, you know, that's not what newer content is. And I don't want people seeing that and be like, oh, this is a crap channel. I'm disliking that. Bye. Because that's bad. And I pulled down a lot of videos that I felt were trashing on something because I don't want to look like that. That's not good. Oh, there's one more. This is a classic one. See, this one actually worked right.
Go home.
I thought it was almost a feature, but it isn't. Oh yeah, it was also featured in a trailer of mine. The chime was so popular, I think. Yeah. I remember that ding so much. It was featured in that. Yeah. But yeah. Yep. You know, I need to get rid of some of these bookmarks, but you know, I'm just too lazy. Oh, wait, we can look at the camera deal. See, this is the camera I bought. See? Oh, it's actually gone down now, but it was 110 back then. But I found a really good deal on it, so I bought it. I favorited the price back then. Yeah, I pulled down that video of the Kone. Because, you know, I don't want people looking at that and being like, what a crap channel. Because that would be bad. I don't want that. Yeah, I rode River Center before, was modded plenty of times. I remember going there every single year and always riding the Vector because I thought it was so cool. Because back then I didn't think we had Vectors here, but oh, was I wrong. Because credit goes to TXMN for telling me about this, but I remember TXMN just texting me about some Vectors in Dallas. I was like, I'm in. I have a drag race video of these things somewhere, but I remember that thumbnail.
Okay, this is the wall at the Pavilion 2 at Methodist Oak Cliff. Oh wait, no it's not.
Oh, what? I was waiting for a wall video. Dang it. What's wrong with you, Dover Elevator Fan 1? I wanted a wall video. I was clicking for a wall video. Oh, you want the Anatoolbook Pro? Okay, you can buy an Anatoolbook Pro. That'll be $7 million, and it's all yours. Oh, man, this isn't the wall. I wanted a wall video.
Also, it has the...
Let me just reboot the Wi-Fi really quick. Oh, I remember that video. Oh, and then the one where I was teasing people on Snapchat, that one was good. That was good. There we go. Let me load my Discord.
Okay, this
Who's
is the wall
DMing me?
at the Pavilion 2 at Methodist Oak Cliff. Oh wait, no it's not. These are the elevators. And look at this, guys. Vector.
I love the motor, though. See, these things are, like, rare in every way possible.
Oh, that's loud.
Yeah, if you get this car here...
That thing had a loud... Yeah, wall
I'm jealous.
enthusiast. Like, that's my wall. It's got an intercom on it. Doesn't work, though. But
Guess who we're with? We're with Aaron. We're on elevator number 1.
I totally didn't use my keys on that. Because I'll admit, I'm a bit guilty. Sometimes I'll accidentally let the keys slip out of my hand into the lock and turn it.
Legit, that was the second car.
Yeah, we gotta ride more than one of these. I mean, I've never seen a Vector like this. This is even rarer.
But, you know what? I think I'm going to head off now. It's about time that I think it's dinner time for me right now. So, it was fun. I'm going to see if I can stream some more possibly later in the week. Perhaps on Friday. But yeah, I think I'm going to head off now. It was fun. Considering I have more free time now, I'll probably be doing this more because, you know, I got to burn off my time somehow, right? But yeah, I think I'm going to head off now. That was it for today. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.